There's no doubt that Coral Gables is one of the most beautiful cities here in Miami, which is why it's so highly regarded and why so many people would love to live here, and why so many people actually do move here from all over the world every single year. The Gables is known for its friendly but sophisticated ambiance, its prestigious reputation, its pristine and lush landscaping, and of course, its gorgeous Mediterranean-style architecture that's found all throughout the city. It was founded now exactly 100 years ago in 1925 by George Merrick and has preserved a lot of that timeless and original charm that so many people love and recognize by protecting a lot of its historic buildings and landmarks. This beautiful city is actually called the City Beautiful, which I think is appropriate, and is home to many families, young and seasoned professionals, and people who simply enjoy the finer things in life, and you'll see why. The Gables offers things like golfing, tennis, shopping, dining, international cuisine, bookstores, coffee shops, parks, top-tier policing, wonderful schools, and absolutely gorgeous homes and real estate. On Miracle Mile alone, which is just a half-mile strip in the heart of Coral Gables, also known as downtown Coral Gables, there are about 200 businesses ranging from restaurants to boutiques to bridal shops and art galleries and so much more, all within walking distance. There's even the Actors Playhouse, which is an iconic theater that's been here for over 35 years where you can watch plays or musicals all year long. Miracle Mile is literally the perfect place to come to for basically anything, whether it be a work-related business lunch or a meeting or just for some you time, for a leisurely afternoon walk to check out all of the local spots and then to stop for a coffee or a tea and maybe some book browsing at Barnes & Nobles or the lovely Books and Books. And if that's not enough shopping and entertainment, the streets surrounding Miracle Mile, like Ponce de Leon Boulevard, Alhambra Circle, and Giralda Ave, just to name a few, all have even more to check out. Like the beautiful and completely pedestrianized Giralda Plaza on Giralda Ave, where you'll find more restaurants, bars, and coffee shops, all with, of course, indoor seating, but also a whole lot of outdoor seating as well, right in the middle of the street. But like I said, it's been completely pedestrianized, so you can sip on your espresso or your cocktail without a single worry of a car coming after you. And that's very important here in Miami. The location of the Gables is also pretty wonderful, being that it's so close to so many other popular areas like Coconut Grove, downtown, Brickell, Miami Beach, the airport, and so on, so it's typically a very easy commute to and from any of these places. It's also super close to major roads like Coral Way, Bird Road, and US 1, and major expressways as well like I-95, the 836, and the 826. So although traffic might still be bad in some areas, you can usually find an alternate route that's maybe a little less bad. Maybe, depending on the time of day. Anyway, regarding the lifestyle here and some fun activities that the Gables offers, like I previously mentioned, golfing and tennis are pretty popular here. Just a few blocks down from Miracle Mile, literally within walking distance, we have the Granada Golf Course, which is a beautiful 9-hole golf course that offers memberships, tournaments, and lessons. There's also a pro shop, locker rooms, and even a restaurant located on site to grab some grub after a long day's session. Their prices to play are also really reasonable. I'll put them up on the screen here so you can have a look. And they offer different rates depending on whether or not you're a resident of the city of Coral Gables, but the difference is minimal. By the way, for whoever enjoys running or walking the dogs, the route around the Granada Golf Course is about 2.3 miles. So if you're looking to get your steps in or your miles in, this is an absolute must. Between the views of the beautiful golf grounds and the amazing homes around the course, I would recommend 10 out of 10, and I speak from experience. I've ran this course, walked this course, and walked my dogs around this course. So yeah, it's beautiful. Anyway, a little further down the way, we also have the Riviera Country Club, which is an 18-hole golf course that's a little bit different because it's exclusive to members only. Here, if you're not a member, you'll have to be invited by one in order to play. And memberships here range from $50,000 to over $100,000 for entry and initiation fees, plus annual fees of upwards of $10,000 per year. The other popular activity in the Gables that I mentioned is tennis, and there are 4 tennis centers here: the Biltmore Tennis Center, Salvador Park Tennis Center, the Neighborhood Tennis Center, and the private Riviera Country Club courts. All with multiple courts, of course, and all offering lessons for all different ages. Personally, I've never been a huge fan of tennis. I guess my hand-eye coordination is not that great, but it's definitely something nice to have in your neighborhood that not every neighborhood has. Now, a few of the historic landmarks in the Gables that give it that timeless charm that is so well known and that so many people love are places like the gorgeous Biltmore Hotel, which is a world famous luxury hotel that has amenities like a spa, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a pool, tennis courts, a golf course, and that offers beautiful venues for weddings, conferences, and events. There's also the Venetian Pool, which was built in 1923, so even before the Gables was a proper city, and is a spring water pool that's refilled daily through an underground aquifer with coral rock caves and waterfalls, and is always a great time for the whole family. Just beware that underground spring water is always freezing. By the way, here's an insider tip. The pool is currently closed for renovations, but is set to reopen this summer in 2025, so be sure to get your suits ready. And lastly, we can't forget about the Merrick House, which was the house of George Merrick, the real estate developer who planned and built the entire city of Coral Gables. The Merrick House is now a museum and can be visited through a tour. So lots of interesting things happening here, no? I'd say. There are also many options for schools in the Gables, from public to charter schools to private schools, and also day schools for your really little ones. These are, for the most part, highly rated schools with special programs like magnet programs, IB programs, or that offer college credit classes. And there's also, of course, the University of Miami, which is a private university that brings in students from all over the world every single year. It's also considered a little Ivy or public Ivy, which means that it offers an Ivy League level education at a public school price. Pretty good deal. But going back to everything that the Gables has to offer, let's say you're not really into all of it. The golfing, the tennis, the historical landmarks, all of the restaurant options, the trendy hotspots. You're just interested in living in a beautiful area in a beautiful home. Well, there's no question that Coral Gables is very much that beautiful area, as I'm sure we can both agree on by now. But how are the homes? Well, I'd be lying to you if I told you that they weren't also beautiful. Let's take a look. Homes in the Gables can range from about $900,000 for something that needs quite a bit of work, all the way up to about $70 million for something like a waterfront mega mansion on a couple of acres with a humble private dock for a boat. Now, I know I gave you two ends of the spectrum here, but I did that just to show you the range of homes here in Coral Gables. And the reason that there's such a big difference in price is primarily because of location. Coral Gables is a long city spanning from about 8th Street all the way down to below the east of the Pinecrest area, which borders Biscayne Bay. So a lot of these homes will be waterfront. These neighborhoods change quite a bit because typically homes further north in Coral Gables will come with a slightly lower price tag than the homes in the southern parts of the Gables, like in Coco Plum, Gables Estates, and Gables by the Sea, which are some of the most exclusive gated and waterfront communities in the southern parts of the Gables. But to give you a more realistic idea of a typical home here, not going so far in one direction or another, we can expect to see very decent 3 to 4 bedroom homes with a pool and good square footage for between the $2 to $3 million mark. Obviously, the bigger the home and the more updated, we can easily start getting into the $5 and $6 million range, but you don't have to if you don't need to. A lot of these more expensive homes, though, are completely remodeled, possibly down to the studs, or could also be new construction entirely. So if you're looking for something that requires little to no renovations at all, this is probably going to be more your price range. Also, if you prefer to be in one of those gated communities for extra privacy or security, but don't have a $70 million budget, we can still find beautiful homes within those communities for as low as about $4 to $5 million. They might need a little more updating or might not be right on the water, but if security and privacy is what's most important to you, then it's good to know that there are also these options without getting into the 8-digit figures. It's also important to note that although purchasing a property in Coral Gables realistically is impossible for some, those who are able to do so are usually making a very solid investment because of everything that Coral Gables has to offer, like what we've mentioned in this video and more. There's no doubt that all of these things increase the desirability of the city, which then naturally increases the desirability, the value, and the exclusivity of your property too. So if Coral Gables is a place where you can see yourself living and thriving, I've actually helped families move here from all over the country and even internationally. I'd love the opportunity to help you too find a home here that you absolutely love. All my information is down in the description, and I'd be thrilled to to hear from you. Lastly, if the Gables sounds like it is just totally out of your reach, but you would love to live close by to take advantage of everything that it has to offer, then take a look at this other neighborhood called Coral Gate. It's literally one street over from the Gables, but is not considered Coral Gables since it's just outside of the city borders. That might be a place that's a little bit more attainable for you. Let me know what you think down in the comments or send me an email. Like I said, my information is down in the description. Happy watching, and I will see you on the next one.